Hi everyone, I'm Christy Forsyth with Clarity by Christy. I am a soul therapist and an intuitive that connects with the angelic energy, and I help the helpers, the healers, and the light bringers of this world to live their most magical life. So if that's you and you're watching on my YouTube channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button below. If you're watching on my Facebook, make sure you swing by my YouTube channel and get yourself subscribed. So we're going to talk about this week's energy, what we have going on here with the collective energy, the energy for all of us, and how can we best navigate it. I have to say, I just want to acknowledge how intense this energy is. I am created to be sort of a reflection of the universal energy, and I can tell you guys, I am just very much hit with this surge of energy, and it's very strong, it's very powerful, and I'm hearing from so many people too that they're feeling these big surges of energy around this full moon and these energetic openings that we have going on and these downloads that we are receiving. And so on top of like everything else that we're trying to navigate, we're experiencing a very physical anxiety, okay? So when I say that, like, we're experiencing these very strong feelings within the body. And what this can look like, what this can feel like is I feel really anxious, but I'm not even sure why. Or I feel much more anxious than I would expect myself to be in this situation, and I'm not sure why. And you're feeling that in the body. For those of us really that have had panic attacks before, it can feel like that. I got hit with the anxiety so strong today, and had I not been able to coach myself through that and recognize that that was anxiety or recognize that that was energy, I think that I would have really struggled with navigating that today because it is strong. So I wanted to talk about what's going on with that. Why are we feeling that? So you might be feeling that physically, you might be feeling that mentally, or you might just be feeling a sense of uneasiness and not quite sure what's going on or where that's coming from. So I think a big part of that is the energy that we have going on right now. The first thing is that we're receiving these huge energy downloads, okay? So we are stepping into the Great Awakening. We are truly just, the planet is ascending. I keep talking about this, but what that looks like is there's more and more light being brought onto the planet. And as there's more and more light being brought onto the planet, our physical bodies have to adjust. Our energy bodies have to adjust. So we are receiving these downloads, these upgrades, I guess I want to say, to prepare us to hold more light, to prepare us to be able to navigate all of this. And so if we were to get that all at once, it would be too much, but we're receiving that little bits at a time. But right now we're getting some pretty big ones, okay? So this is like when you plug your phone in at night and it gets the system upgrades, right? The big system upgrades. That's really what's going on for us right now that we are receiving. And so we can feel that. And what energy looks like a lot of times in the body is a feeling of anxiety, is a feeling of just feeling like a tension or a not knowing where this is coming from, or that very physical anxiety that we're talking about. And for a long time, I thought that I had a really serious issue with anxiety. And once I learned how to disconnect energy from that, I really learned that most of what I was experiencing for myself was just energy. So that's true for so many of us. And so when we can learn just to even recognize that, sometimes that gives us some power. Sometimes that helps us to not get so overwhelmed with that. I'm going to talk about that a little bit more in the as we get a little bit further along. So you can tell, like, I'm having a hard time speaking today because I just feel it so much physically in my body right now. We're getting these surges, right? And it is so much also through this process, in order to allow our bodies and our energy fields to hold more light, we have to go through this emotional and physical purge that we have going on. I talked about this last week. So you might be finding yourself feeling really emotional, trying to deal with all that. You might be finding yourself dealing with like some physical symptoms. I've talked with you guys a little bit about like some issues that I've had as my throat has been clearing out. But we all have our areas that we tend to, experience more energy. And I've had a lot of people come to me with physical symptoms that they've had that have come back for them, or they're having a lot of physical issues that they're not sure where that's coming from. And some of that, quite frankly, is energy. It's a purge. It's actually the release of these energies that we've been carrying in our physical bodies, but it feels, again, uncomfortable. It can feel painful. It can even come in the form of an illness in order for that to be healed, in order for that to be released. So we have all of this going on, this purge, and I want you to just let your emotions fly if you can. Like, you don't want to live in your emotions, right? You don't want to let them take over your life, take over your day, but you do want to allow yourself to release some of these emotions so that you're not carrying it, because we're trying to deal with enough with all of this energy, right? So we don't want to be holding all of this in. We want to let ourselves, if we need to cry, to release the emotion in healthy ways so that we can come back and be more balanced on the other side of that. There's also, with all of this energy that we have going on this week, and I talked about this last week. If you didn't catch this last week, make sure you go back to my video from last week, because that really is a very important message about shifting into our power and shifting from a victim-based mindset into an empowering mindset. And this is, the energy right now is really making that difficult. I was talking about last week how I found myself, I keep finding myself shifting into this victim-based mentality. Why me? Why is this happening? Why is all of this going on? And luckily, pretty quickly, my mind kicks in and says, no, we're not doing this. There's no power here in being a victim. There is nothing that can serve you here in this other than feeling sorry for yourself. And so what are you going to do about it? How are you going to change it? Or what thoughts do you need to replace that with so that you are feeling empowered rather than feeling like a victim? And we're learning how to navigate this right now, because we're going to need that empowerment. We're going to need that strength as we're moving forward. And when we are more empowered and we understand how powerful we are going to be able to hold more light into our energy fields and be more a force of love here on this planet, which is really like the energy and the direction that we're moving in. So the other thing that we have going on here is that we are supposed to be getting shit done, okay? Quite frankly, like, don't wait until the new year to start whatever it is that you're wanting to start. And I feel like I've said this the past 3 years, but it's so true, is like we're getting this push. And it's like, yes, there's been, some places are back on a pause and, like we've had a lot of stuck energy and things like that. But that does not mean that you cannot get things done. Do the work that you can do. Get something started that you can get started on. Begin to work in the direction of your dreams. Begin to do the things that you want to do. And maybe like right now, there are so many businesses here around where I'm at that aren't able to be open right now. So, okay, so you can't be open, but what else can you be doing to build your business, to continue to create a momentum so that's not just falling flat, okay? Hi, Keith. Oh, it's nice to see you on here. He says, just tuning in, divine timing. It definitely is, and it's always nice to see you on here. So we want to allow this antsy energy, because it's a little bit antsy, right, to push us into doing things. You're being energized. You are being powered up to take care of whatever it is that you need to take care of. So pay attention to those actions that you're feeling inspired to take. Pay attention. You're always being shown. You're always being guided. People come to me all the time and they say, well, I don't know what to do. I don't know what's next for me. If you take the time to really let yourself listen and you trust it, that's a huge part of it, right? You trust it, then you know exactly what to do. Usually the only thing that I do for people is I give them the exact same message that they already knew, but for some reason, because I give it to them, they trust it more rather than trusting ourselves. If we can just like learn to trust it ourselves and honor that, whatever it is that our intuition is showing us, we are cutting out the middleman, right? Like we're able to just move forward. We're able to just take action more quickly and go for it. So go for it, whatever that is, but go for it and don't wait until 2021. Do it now. Do it tonight. Do it tomorrow. But don't put it off, because this energy is here to keep pushing, pushing, pushing. And if you don't do anything with this energy, you are going to feel anxious and you are going to feel overwhelmed because you're not listening to your soul. That'll show up also when you're not listening to your soul. So I've had to be creative with this, right? My kids are, doing virtual schooling. I've talked about this a lot because it's a major issue for me in my life right now and a major stressor. So I've had to be creative with it to make sure that I'm still getting things done. I'm staying up later. I'm taking care of things at different times than I would have before because it's that important and it can't wait. It needs to be taken care of right now. So make sure that you are using this energy to your benefit. The other thing I want to say is that this self-coaching is really the key here, because this is where you win the battle against this feeling of anxiety. It's how are you framing it to yourself? How are you telling yourself? Because today I felt that energy so strongly that if I didn't know that it was energy, if I didn't tell myself that it was energy and talk myself through that, I'm pretty sure I would have had a full-fledged panic attack. Like, it was that strong. It was that powerful, right? And what happens is we feel the energy and then our brain starts to go, oh, I feel anxious. And it starts to find things to be anxious about. And then it kind of can spin out of control from there. But if instead that thought is, oh, I'm experiencing energy right now. This is energy. This is what Christy was talking about in her video. And if we can even just simply change that thought, you'll find that that gives the brain an explanation for what it is that it's feeling, and it'll start to settle down. It might not completely settle down. It might not completely be calm, but it will start to settle down. So that can be a really powerful tool. Or I also love in Mel Robbins' The 5-Second Rule, amazing book, by the way, amazing tool. But she talks about how our bodies are physiologically the same when we are experiencing very strong fear or when we are experiencing very strong excitement. Think about it. Think about what your body goes through and what it experiences when you're fearful or when you're excited, okay? So it's the exact same physiological reaction. So if we can recognize that feeling and instead of saying, I'm afraid or I'm anxious, and we can replace that with, I am excited. I'm excited about what's to come. I'm excited about my new year. I'm excited about wrapping up 2020 successfully. If we can instead reframe that, it really is helpful in terms of like shutting the brain down, shutting that process down before that anxiety like goes off the rails and gets out of control. So you can talk about it as being energy to yourself. You can talk about it being excitement or any other way that you want to reframe that. But that thought, that mindset, that coaching of yourself is what is going to shut that down. You maybe aren't going to release the feeling, but you learn how to navigate that with the feeling and knowing that you're okay and knowing that like it's like preventing it from coming to your head. It's physically there, right? But it's not going to your head, so it's not going to continue to grow and build and become this bigger thing than it needs to become. So that is a really, really powerful tool. I want to pull, I have a couple of, or some cards that I pulled. I want to talk about the cards. These are messages for how do we best navigate this week with everything that we have going on with the energy. And the first card we have here is the 3 of Air. Okay, this is about healing. This is about an emotional purge. Like we talked about, this is taking time to heal. There is a great healing that is happening for us right now. And again, that might look like actual sickness. That might look like struggle, right? We are learning how to let go of some big things from our life. We just had the full moon last night, and you can still focus your intentions on letting things go. That full moon really was powerful in terms of letting things go. So we're letting things go, but there's a healing that has to happen with that. There's a healing with everything that we have been through here in 2020 or before that. So allow this healing process to happen and have patience with yourself as you're going through that. We have the Page of Water card showing up upright. And to me, this is, again, like we a huge part of this awakening that's happening for us on the planet, for this planetary ascension, is us connecting to our gifts on a whole new level, to our intuitive gifts, to our gifts that we came here to, and we all were given gifts to share here on this planet. Like, that's part of why you're here. It's part of your purpose. And so we're connecting with our purpose, we're connecting with our intuition, we're connecting with our gifts. And even if you were connected to that before, and you probably were on some level, we are deepening that connection. We are just really so much more intuitive and so much more in alignment if we're allowing it with this energy. I mean, that's why you're feeling all of this, right? Is you're receiving that energy. And so again, it can be uncomfortable, but where it's taking you is exciting stuff. And you might find yourself just really in tune with your intuition. That's your guide. That's your roadmap for living your best life. So listen to it, tune into it, let it be increased, let it be developed so that you are more in alignment with living your best and most purposeful life. The next card that we have is the Nine of Fire. And this is about standing strong in our fire, standing strong in our confidence, confidently knowing that we are making the best decisions for ourselves. Some of us this week may feel like we're needing to defend that to other people, or that people are kind of challenging our resolve around some decisions that we've already made. And this is saying, you've made the decision, or you have decided your truth. You have connected to your truth. So stand strong in your truth. Stand confidently in your truth. Feel confident in who you are and where you want to go. This energy is allowing us so much to be in alignment with our authentic selves, our real selves. And that might mean that we seem different because we're connecting more to who we authentically are. And so some of the people in our world might go, oh, that's weird. Stop being different. Go back to how you were, right? And I feel like this Nine of Fire energy is really saying, no, just be true to who you are, be true to what you feel your best life path is, and continue to honor that. And the next card that we have is the Three of Earth, and this is about creativity. There is very much a burst of inspiration that we're receiving as part of these downloads for ideas for our life, for things that we need to be doing, for creating the vision for 2021. Pay attention to the creative ideas that are coming through and the bursts of inspiration that are coming through for you. These are really important right now. The next card that we have is the Two of Water. Okay, so there's like a harmony that we're connecting with. In spite of all of this, like underneath the surface, there's a harmony that we're connecting with. And we're creating these powerful soul family connections, or even soulmate connections, right? There is like a deepening of relationships. There is a reconnection. This is also like a very powerful reconnection with this full moon on the other side of this, and especially as we're getting to the winter solstice on the 21st, I'm shown like such a strong pull for soul family and soul mates to be pulled together, or for deepening of connections with those soul connections that we already have in our life. So really positive energy around relationships right now, if we're allowing it, and resolution of conflict within relationships if we're allowing it, and just like a deepening of connection. But we have to also allow the release of anything that's not in alignment with that. And the last card that we have, and I'm excited about this one, is the Empress card, okay? Because the Empress is really, she has it all, right? And that really is what we're working toward. That really is what we are working toward feeling and accomplishing right now, right? Because when you feel like you have it all, when you see it as you have it all, I already have everything that I need. That's exactly what you manifest. And also, that's exactly how you can be more in tune with your gratitude. When you just recognize, like, all right, it doesn't matter the things that I want in my life. I already have exactly what I need. And I'm grateful for it. And so there is this energy, but it also is an energy of manifesting those things that we do want, and becoming a magnet for pulling in those things that we do want. So I see that also, where we are connecting more with abundance and connecting more with opportunities and connecting more with just this vision and taking action on this vision of giving birth to our dreams. The Empress is about giving birth to our dreams, is about knowing that if we live our most purposeful life, if we live our most authentic life, that the universe is always taking care of us emotionally, financially, spiritually, physically, in every way we need. The Empress's needs are always met, and she understands it, and she lives in that energy, and she lives in gratitude, and because of that, she feels so joyful. So let's embrace this Empress energy this week so that we are living our best life, feeling our most grateful, and so that we are magnetizing all of the things that we want to create for a life that we can be excited about, because there is so much cool stuff coming, especially as we step into 2021. But don't wait. Get started now. Start to focus on actions that are going to create a momentum before we are stepping into the new year. So those are your messages. I hope that they connect for you. If they do connect for you, I always appreciate a share or like or comment. It's always nice to hear from you guys in comments. And make sure, if you are watching on my Facebook, that you swing by my YouTube channel and get yourself subscribed. I do want to say, part of what I did today, what I decided today, because part of where I was getting really overwhelmed was in recognizing that I just don't have my December tarot scopes done. Yeah, and I normally do that over on my YouTube channel. And you know what? I made the decision, like, I'm not going to do those this month. I've had so much going on, and I just didn't get to them. And so instead, what I'm going to be focusing on, I know you guys look forward to those, but I have to do this for me, right? At the end of the day, self-care. And so what I'm going to be doing instead is working on the 2021 tarot scopes for the whole year for everybody. So I'll have that as an extra, and then I will be posting the January tarot scopes as well eventually. So thank you guys for your patience with that, for your understanding with that. You know, if I'm going to tell other people they've got to take care of themselves, I'm going to demonstrate that myself as well. So thanks so much for watching, and I will see you guys soon with another video. Take care, guys.